Hello, this is Lord Shell, writer, artist, and journal loudmouth, and today I'm going to talk about the twin pillars that hold up the house of role-playing. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about power fantasies, and I'm talking about gambling. That's right. That's the framework which holds up the house. That's the load-bearing structure which holds up the house of role-playing. There's a lot of stuff on top of it. There's drywall, there's spackle, there's paint, but power fantasies and gambling are what hold up role-playing. Now, what exactly do I mean by that? Well, power fantasies, fairly self-explanatory. You role-play either a wizard who can blow things up with fireballs, a superhero who can punch through walls, fly through space, a cyborg commando which can gun down hundreds of people if necessary, and so forth. It's very much a male-oriented power fantasy thing, although it's shifted somewhat towards females in recent years, but still, the power fantasy part is generally male. Other half, gambling. That is to say, the element of randomness through the dice that you might not succeed. You know, you're going to take that long shot that you can take out that dragon or manage to storm that base or whatever. There's an element of chance. You can fail. And those are the twin pillars that hold up role-playing. And tends to be a sliding scale. And usually one is in inverse proportion to the other, but not always. Like as examples, one end of the spectrum of power fantasies would be sort of like superhero games. Superhero games very much tend to be power fantasies. You're the guy who can duke it out and level whole city blocks, fly through space, burn things to the ground, whatever. You know the superhero genres. You've seen Avengers, I assume. Power fantasies. Superheroes tends to be at one end of the scale. The other end with things like, say, Call of Cthulhu. The most badass character in Call of Cthulhu is still a bug compared to the great old ones. That is to say, the mightiest bug in the world is still just a bug to Great Cthulhu. So those are kind of the two ends of the scale, and there's a lot of examples on either end. Like I said, superheroes on one end, Call of Cthulhu, a zombie apocalypse. Not a lot of power fantasies in zombie apocalypse. It's, hey, how do we not die? How do we not get eaten? Do we kill the guy who just got bit? That's a power fantasy in zombie apocalypse. And really, the type of play style you're going to see from people tends to be dependent on how much they go towards one side of the spectrum or the other. Munchkins, rules abusers, tend to be very much power fantasy. They want that power fantasy and they don't want the risk. They like playing in God mode. Those type of people. It's like, hey, why have risk? I got power fantasy. Other ends tends to be people who like to take the sort of wild gambles, which can be both amusing or incredibly frustrating depending on the game and the circumstances. They're the ones that like the Leroy Jenkins. Let's run into the dragon's lair and see if we can take him out. Oh, sure, we don't have much of a chance, but it'll be fun to try, even if it gets everyone else killed. Those are the two extremes, but usually play styles skew one way or another. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can figure out what your players would prefer. Figure out which ones are the power fantasies and which ones are the gamblers, and try to adjust any sort of play or game mastering to them. Sometimes you just can't help but get somebody who's a total munchkin, completely power fantasy, and wants to have no risk, or the ones that are, hey, let's do nothing but take wild chances even though it gets everyone killed. Those are the ones you really want to avoid, because sometimes you just can't get away from them. But in any case, twin pillars of role-playing, gambling, and power fantasies. That's pretty much it. Please subscribe if you like this. Rate the video even if you hate it. Please take a look at my 3 books on sale down there. The links are below. And I will catch you later. Bye.